So, back from my various problems with my cameras again, with no hair, shaved it all off for charity, but we've got 6th edition. So I've been looking through the entire book and I have to admit I'm rather happy with it. I'll just go over a few little bits because obviously I don't have the same amount of time that other people like Beasts of War or Mini Wargaming have on their videos. So where to start really? I think the one thing which everybody's going to be talking about is allies. So if I flick through to the ally page, if I can find it again, it's on page 113. And I have to admit, I do quite like it. It gets it does take a little while to get used to this table. However, it is pretty damn good. It means that I can ally a lot of my smaller armies together. For example, my orcs, I've only got the models from Black Reach. However, I can now ally them with my Imperial Guardsmen to add as my combat force for my Guardsmen. But each one can be a battle brother, so they're perfectly fine with each other. They basically work like a normal army. Allies are convenience, that they don't really interact with each other, but they'll fight for a common cause. Desperate allies, where exactly the same as the allies of convenience, only they're incredibly dubious about everybody else, so they got a chance of not being able to do anything. And then come the apocalypse, which is they can't ally, which is pretty much any loyalist army and chaos and Tyranids. Because that's the one thing which has disappointed me. Tyranids can't ally with anyone, which really disappointed me because I really wanted to be able to put in some Chaos Space Marines into my Tyranid army for some durability, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Other things which are in are that you got hull points for vehicles. Now, a hull point is where each vehicle's got their hull points, which is detailed in the back of the book, and they range between 2 hull points and 4 hull points, with 2 hull points being your real light vehicles like your Venoms, your Land Speeders, your Sentinels, whilst the 4s being your really heavy stuff like your Land Raiders, your Soul Grinders, your Defilers, etc. Everything else in the middle is all 3, so like your Rhinos, etc. And basically the idea behind that is that the normal vehicle damage table is gone. You've got a new one instead. So if you take a glancing hit, you lose a hull point. Nothing else. If you take a penetrating hit, you lose a hull point and you take an additional effect. Now the effect varies. On a 1 or a 2 you basically are going to snap shoot, which is okay. I think on a 3 you can only snap shoot and not move. 4 you lose a random weapon, which is very good for things like the Doomsday Arcs, the Vindicators, the ones which have 2 weapons but never use their other weapon because it's never ever actually used. So that changes a lot with that. On a 5 you're immobilized, and a 6 you explode. You can only be wrecked by losing all your hull points. Now this is good. Unfortunately, it does have a few little problems. For example, Necrons are now even more powerful than they were, because now they can literally just shoot a Land Raider, and all they need is 4 6s, and the Land Raider's gone. And when you've got a unit of 20 warriors shooting rapid fire into it, it ain't gonna last long. So Necrons are even more powerful than they once were. The other thing is that you got random assault ranges, so if you want to charge you have to roll 2d6 to assault instead of the normal 6 or 12 or whichever type you had of class or infantry, etc. you actually were. We've also got other things like we got new rules for various models. So we got flying monsters, which have got their own rules now, separate from normal monsters. You have flyers are now in the game. They work fairly similarly to the Apocalypse style flyers, so there's not too much difference there. And chariots, which are interesting, I would say the least. They're almost like a cross between a dreadnought and a normal vehicle. Off the top of my head, the only one which I know of is the command barge for the Necrons. I know that's a chariot, but other than that, I can't think of any ones off the top of my head other than that. Obviously, we probably might get some more with the new codexes coming out, with rumours of Chaos, which I would imagine Chaos will probably get one, but we'll have to see when their codexes come out, and if their codexes come out. Some of the weapons have been changed, so rapid fire you can move and still shoot at long range or short range. You still can't assault, but if you move, you're not limited by your range. Also, another small thing is that your rapid fire, your short range rapid fire is half your maximum range, when originally it was 12 inches. For most people, that's not going to make a difference. However, it does mean that armies, that Tau, for example, who have a 30 range railguns, who've got their 30-inch weapons, have now got a 15-inch rapid-fire range. So they become even better. Whereas Stormtroopers, who have only got range 18 hotshot lasguns, are now worse because they've only got a rapid-fire of 8 inches. So it's going to be a little different for each army, but most of the case it doesn't affect them. And the other big thing is Overwatch and snapshots, because most weapons you do snapshots, which is literally if they move or if they can't normally shoot or something similar, they can still shoot their weapons, which can snapshot, but they count as ballistic skill 1 instead of their normal ballistic skill. Now, the immediate thing which comes to mind is this makes heavy bolters and tactical squads useful. It also means that armies like Orcs won't give a damn, because their shots barely ever hit anyway, so it's a lot better for Orcs than it is for any other army. And of course, Overwatch, whenever you're charging into an enemy, they can perform an Overwatch shot, so they basically fire snapshots at you as you're charging in. And I've only played one game so far, and it was a sort of a large 4v4 game to sort of help get used to the rules. And most of the time it didn't take much of effect. Granted, the units were relatively small at times, so I think it was a 5-man unit of Knobs and Gazgul and against Death Company and whatnot, so most of the units which did charge didn't really get to use the full effect of their weapons, because most of their weapons couldn't do anything, or they just didn't have enough shots. But imagine a 30-man guard squad firing Overwatch into a unit of truck boys which have just jumped out their truck and charged in. That's going to be a lot of boys dead. So, one last thing before I finish. You've also got, you can purchase buildings as part of your army now. So you've got the choice of the Fortress Redemption, which is relatively pricey, combined with the fact is that it comes with more or less a minimum weapon loadout. So you need to actually pay for extra weapons. Because I think at full capacity it comes at 290 points to have every single weapon which it normally has, so it's a bit pricey. You've also got bastions, Aegis defense lines, and the landing pads, and I'm happy about the landing pads because landing pads actually have a use now. Previously they just looked nice, and in Planet Strike they had 1 or 2 rules I'm not overly familiar with Planet Strike, but now they're actually useful because they've got 2 alternate modes which you can use them in. So one which gives cover saves, and the other one which allows reinforcements to arrive without scattering and whatnot. But it all looks absolutely blooming fantastic. New missions. You've got strange terrain, similar to like you got in fantasy. Psychic powers have changed a fair bit. So that's all changed. Close combat weapons now have an AP, so that it's a lot harder for your hits to ignore armor now. Artillery have been completely buffed, so they're no longer anywhere near as fragile as they used to be. And just have a look at all these special rules. 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, 5 page, 5.5 pages of special rules. Things like, and they shall know no fear, assault vehicle, furious charge, and etc. So lots of new stuff. It's going to take quite a while to get used to it. I'm going to be doing a few tacticas and battle reports in the meantime to help other people get into it, as well as to help me get into it as well. But hopefully I will see you all later.